Hey guys, welcome back. So in the first objective, we looked at whether advertising was worth it or not. Within that, we sort of compared advertising investment to if you were to do the same thing with the same amount of money and put it into a term deposit at a bank. So if you want to invest in advertising, you have to be able to guarantee that you get the money that you spent back, but also you would generate more profit than what you would get from simply putting the money in the bank. So this is very difficult, right? And we decided that you could take two approaches. One was to look at advertising as an expense, and therefore if you minimize the amount of advertising spend, you reduce the expenses, and therefore that increases your profit. The other alternative was to look at, where does profit come from? And that comes from revenue. Where does revenue come from? It comes from how much stuff you're selling, as well as how much you can sell that stuff for, and also the number of times you can get people to try your product over and over again. And this is where advertising has an argument in terms of helping to generate revenue. So it's a revenue generation approach for in terms of arguing for advertising. Today we're looking at another thing to consider, and that is whether a product or service is price elastic or advertising elastic. So what is elasticity? It's a measure of how responsive the quantity demanded is, depending on variables such as price and advertising. So what does this mean? Well, depending on the product that you're advertising, you may or may not want to increase advertising or decrease the price. So some products are advertising elastic. Now, typically luxury products are ones that come to mind. So this means that reducing the price may not necessarily increase the volume to the same extent as increasing the advertising would. So the argument being that if you're in the market for a luxury product, then you're too rich to worry about price discounts anyway. And so it's really increasing the advertising that helps to build that brand image and also raise awareness of a brand that increases the volume that you're wanting to increase in order to generate more revenue. So luxury products are typically a good example of products that are advertising elastic. The opposite of that are products that are price elastic. So great example, if we think about the opposite of luxury products, something like toilet paper, right? So the argument there is that seeing more and more advertising about toilet paper may not necessarily make the volume of toilet paper go up, because people are going to buy it anyway and at fairly regular intervals, right? So in decreasing the price though may get people to stockpile because they see there's a massive sale on toilet paper, and then that discount makes them want to buy more. In reality though, products are usually a combination of both. Obviously, if you increase the amount of advertising, that will increase the appeal, the awareness, and the brand image maybe, and that will make people want to buy more. Likewise, if you reduce the price, that will certainly increase the volume because all of a sudden the stuff is more accessible to a greater number of people, not only those that have a lot of money. So even though those solid examples of luxury products being advertising elastic, well, if you reduce the price enough, that probably will also increase the volume. So there's no hard, rules in terms of this is definitely an advertising elastic product versus this is definitely a price elastic product. In reality, it's a balance of both. And so as the advertising agency, you want to obviously encourage the advertising spend to keep that awareness up and build that brand image. But on the other hand, some marketers are working with reducing the price, right, or the cost of the product, and that is another way of increasing volume. If you do the combination of both, that might work as well. And typically within an integrated marketing communications framework, that's what you want to do. You want to do a bit of combination of the various tools that are available to you. So you reduce the price, that would increase the volume, but in order to get people to know about this price reduction, you need to advertise that you're having some sort of sales promotion.